Hi, I'm Gill Hobson. My favourite kind of tea is PG Tips decaffeinated. Fantastic. When you drink as many cups of tea as I do, you need it to be decaffeinated. I started doing my work in this form probably about 4 years ago now. Before that I was doing tabletop work rather than sculptural work, bowls and so on. The inspiration for my work really is the materials, the glass. I think the glass is fantastic. I fell in love with it. I actually went to college to do ceramics. I'd done a foundation in Grimsby, and of course when you do a foundation you think, what should I do now? I'll go to college. So I started looking around, and I was actually looking at ceramics-based colleges. And when I got to Birmingham, I'd done some enamelling, jewellery enamelling on copper from my silversmithing days. And when they saw that, they just wanted me to go, because I didn't know at the time, but they actually had a glass element that they wanted to develop. I have a number of favourite artists. Probably my absolute favourite is a guy called Dale Chihuly. He's American, and he originally started out doing, fairly standard, fairly tame work in glass, little bowls, objects and so on. And he lost his eye in a car accident, which meant that he couldn't blow, and suddenly his sort of vision expanded, if you like, his creative vision expanded, or probably in compensation. And he started doing these really amazing amorphous sort of undersea, underwater forms, and these really sculptural things. I really think anyone can be an artist. I really do. I think that everybody has a creative talent within them, and I think it's such a joy for people to discover that they're not all fingers and thumbs and totally useless. That it's so life enhancing, even to achieve a modest amount of success with a project that you choose to pursue. I think some of the best things about being an artist is being able to realise your vision. I've been at this quite a few years now, so I can have an idea and know how to get there, the journey of getting there. And although the journey of getting there is quite exciting, it's the end result when you've actually put in all your time and effort, and you step back and you detach yourself from it, if you like. So I'm all for people going to night classes and doing anything from handmade cards to a bit of stained glass to anything, jewellery, painting, whatever, because art is about your sort of personal vision. There's no right or wrong to it. In the old days, I suppose the teaching methods and the perception was very conventional, and you had to paint like this, but of course these days anything goes. I'm particularly proud of this achievement of doing these sculptures for Chelsea, because when I came back to Grimsby, I'd been in the Midlands for quite a few years, and when I came back to Grimsby it was a big change for me, a big creative change, and I didn't have the support structures and so on that I had when I was being an artist in the Midlands. But I took some leaps of faith and threw my money at things and threw my time and my energy at things, and I'm really, really pleased that somebody of the calibre of the designer of this garden has invited me to include my work in the scheme, because this is just such a massive opportunity. There's no way you could do anything like this if you just sort of looked around the Grimsby and Lincolnshire area. The opportunities aren't here. So I think that is pretty good, actually. You only have to look on the TV for the interiors programmes, and people are slapping bits of emulsion on canvases and whatever, and people are really chuffed with it. And okay, it's not art in the fine art sort of intellectual sense, but it's a creative expression, and as such it's valid, and I think anyone should go for it. I haven't really done many strange things with my work. I've always been quite conventional with where I've shown it and what I've done with it, but I guess this is going to rate as pretty strange, because we're going to be doing this huge garden, terrestrial garden in Chelsea, that's designed to sort of, or conceptually is kind of underwater. So that's going to be, I think that's going to be quite a strange concept for the viewing public. And I think it's either going to you know, go one way or the other. People are either going to love it or hate it. This piece that I'm holding at the moment is one of 3 elements that are going to form a much larger sculpture. These pieces are made out of a combination of lead crystal glass, solder, copper and mild steel. The main structure for this is mild steel that's been galvanised, zinc coated, treated to withstand the elements, and then painted with an appropriate finish to get this kind of beautiful verdigris effect that's going on. This piece is really constructed around this sort of central stem, and it would be true to say that without the metal you couldn't do this kind of piece. You couldn't get the glass to do this on its own. Well, you might be able to if you really went for it, but really without the metal you can't have the sculpture. So the metal and glass are as important to each other. One cannot exist without the other. But of course, being an artist, whatever you do, it's never good enough. So you always try and do better. You always criticise it, and you know, I could have done that bit a bit better. So you're always moving on. But you're kind of driven to being an artist. You don't do it because you want to. You do it because you have to, really.